So, you've just started playing AQ3D. Well, I'm here to get you started. So, let's get into this. Classes. When you start AQ3D, you'll get the choice between 4 different classes: Warrior, Mage, Rogue, and Healer. Which one you choose is up to preference. Warrior is mostly an AoE class, which means it's lower damage but can hit multiple targets at once. Rogue does a lot of single target damage over time, making it viable for bosses. Mages are good for long-ranged attacks with the ability to slow and stun enemies. It's a little hard to play at first because your mana doesn't recharge until you've ranked up a bit, so be aware of that. Healer does exactly what it sounds like. It heals people. They're good for team play, and it's a good choice if you want to play with your friends. But if you're starting out solo, I would advise against it, due to the low damage and low survivability at starting ranks. Now that we've covered the starter classes, I'd like to mention that you can switch your class at any time, as long as you are not actively in combat. Different classes are good for different situations, so take advantage of that feature. Now, I've mentioned ranks, so let me explain. Each class has its own rank that gains experience independently when you use it. You will gain active and passive abilities until rank 10, at which point you will get your cross skill. Cross skills can be used with any other class. So for example, you leveled a mage to rank 10 and you switch to your warrior. You can now set the mage's cross skill on your hotbar and use it with your warrior. There's a bunch of different classes you can unlock by doing their quests at their respective NPC, but I won't go into all of them individually in this video. Story progression. Something very important that the game doesn't teach you is about your Adventures tab. There's a few times when your main quest line just ends and leaves you wondering where to go. If you open your menu, you'll see a tab that says Adventures. Here you can keep track of your story progression and check where you need to go next. You can also see things like side quest completion and a direct teleport to the daily boss. If you want to see which quests are currently active, you can check your quest log. Scaling and dungeons. You'll find that some areas are full of high-level players who do about the same amount of damage as low-level players. That's because those areas are level scaled. This is so that everyone can play together on the same difficulty regardless of their level. Skilled enemies are indicated by their level being green. The most common skilled areas are seasonal event areas, daily boss rooms, and public dungeons. Now, when you join a dungeon, it will ask you if you want to go public or private. Public means other players can join you, even if you went in alone, which I would recommend for new solo players. Private means only the party you are in before entering the dungeon can join you. Dungeons can be unscaled by setting it to private and choosing unscaled. This is the best option when you have a high-level player in your group. Travel forms. When you first start AQ3D, you will be running everywhere. And honestly, it's quite slow. Most travel forms, especially in the start of the game, are for Guardians only. So, what can you do if you're a new free-to-play player? There are consumable travel forms. These can only be used once and will disappear the moment you get out of the travel form. They usually drop from the daily chests. However, if you want a permanent travel form, there are 3 options. The first one is the wooden horse travel form in Hardwood. You'll have to do the daily quest for 30 days before you can get all the parts to create your travel form. The second is Gift Thulu. Depending on when you're watching this video, they may or may not be available. In Yogur's Inn in Babylon, you will find the Giving Shrub that sells a travel form, pets and cosmetics for gift tags. To get the gift tags, you will need to kill Gift Thulus, which are player-spawned monsters. It's a good idea to keep an eye out on social media and Discord servers for community spawn events. The third option is PvP. When you play PvP, you can earn Marks of Glory. Those can be traded in for a travel form if you collect enough of them. To enter PvP, talk to this NPC on the Babylon Bridge. Summon words and switching servers. When you want to play with other players you meet outside the game, the word summon word or summon code will come up a lot. This is a word unique to you that will allow other players to teleport directly to you. You can find your summon word in your Friends tab in the menu. Be aware that this changes every time you log out. Now, what if your friends are on a different server? Teleporting directly to them will change the server for you automatically. If you want to change your server manually, you can log out and change your server from your character's screen. As for which server you should pick. Red, Blue and Black are USA. Red is the most populated server by far. If you can't find any people to group with, try going to Red. Green is EU and Gold is Southeast Asia. The server regions will affect your latency, so keep that in mind. Leveling. I have made a leveling guide before that explains which areas to go to at which level, and you can find that video in the top right corner or in the video description. But for a few extra tips, make sure you do your quest lines in areas outside of your main quest too. And don't forget to do your daily tasks. They give a huge boost in XP. Gear. Gear doesn't actually matter until end level, and even then, it's just to pass the bar for the raid. If you're a new player, don't worry too much about getting better gear. Just equip whatever you get from your quests. Now, here's a tip that I honestly don't remember if the tutorial teaches you, so I'm gonna throw it in anyway. If you go into your inventory, there's a tab to see all of your equipment. Here you'll find a button to equip best. Make sure you press that button every now and then throughout your story. Another thing I want to mention is that all gear can be equipped as cosmetic. This means it won't affect your stats, just how you look. If you find something that looks good but has bad stats, you can still use it as a cosmetic. Bank space. You'll find pretty soon after starting that your inventory fills up very quickly. This is where the bank comes in. You'll start off with some bank space in the Babylon Bank to store your equipment. To get more space, you'll need more vaults. Of course, you can purchase Guardian and expand your inventory in the process, or buy extra vaults with DC. But there is a way to get a free vault. Just do the quests at the bank. These quests require you to run the dungeon in the bank, and honestly, it's very grindy. But at the end of your quests, you will permanently gain an extra vault. Asking for help. Sometimes a battle might be too tough to fight by yourself, or you don't know how to do something. It's okay to ask other players for help. AQ3D has a very social community, and there's plenty of players who won't mind helping. And of course, remember to do the same for others too. And that was it for this video. This was made with the help of a few new players who were genuinely confused. So I hope it can help other new players out there too. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye guys!